Hello, I'm the Flawless Walrus, and welcome back to our Death Battle prediction videos. But first, I do want to talk about just one little thing with Master Chief versus Doomslayer. Now, was it my favorite episode ever? No, not particularly, but it was still an enjoyable time. I have noticed some really weird aspects about it. A lot of the casual community generally loves it. But there's been a really big subset of people within the Death Battle community who have kind of gone at it from really weird angles. Like, one of the biggest things that I've seen is people saying that they hate how gory the kill is. And it's like, if you were going into a Doom episode and not expecting a gory kill, what are you doing? Because, yes, there is the whole argument of, oh, Doomslayer doesn't treat humans like he does the demons and all of that too. But they still want to represent Doom how Doom is and how it's perceived. So, sorry, Chief, you kind of are getting mangled in this case. I personally thought the kill was fine. Again, not an exemplary episode, but a good one. Now, I say that, to be fair, as not the hugest fan of either Halo or Doom, but, what are you going to do? But that brings us over to Kyle versus Simone. And, oh boy. One of the biggest things with this one is that people are lauding it as one of the closest death battles to date, which is pretty wild, all things considered, how far into death battle we are. And to be entirely honest, I kind of don't know. I've seen a lot of people going for Simone. I've seen a lot of people specifically going for him because of the fact that, one, they prefer him, which is fair. Two, people really want to see a DC Herald lose to a non-Marvel character. Because that shit doesn't happen for the most part. It's just kind of cosmology goes burr. One of the big things, though, is that might actually be how this fight goes, too, to an extent. I've seen a lot of discussion about, like, the source wall, the life equation, all of this stuff that just gives Kyle this, like, crazy level of reality warping. And there's a couple different ways that you can kind of go at it. Power-wise, they're either even or Kyle comes out a little bit ahead. His arguments for being outer-versal, to use the annoying terms, is a bit better than Simone's, though Simone has the whole aspect of, like, oh, he can always gradually get infinitely higher and higher. But when it comes to the kind of dimensionality that this fight is operating on, scaling upwards infinitely doesn't actually get you anywhere when it comes to going, like, outer, like, towards outer. It just isn't as clean. Just because you're dealing with either multiple infinities or, like, exponential infinities, just... It's complicated. I'm curious how long the verdict itself is going to be, because I could actually see us getting a, like, 6-7 minute verdict of them just going like, alright, so we've got a lot to cover. But one of the things that I think is kind of important to note is that the source wall and life equation, in turn, are potentially higher levels of reality warping than Simone has ever actually dealt with. And yes, you can make the argument that Gurren Lagann is the, like, ooh, there are no limits, rah, fight the power, the anime. But that's kind of antithetical to what Death Battle does. They establish what is currently there and what can reasonably be attained. And again, you can make the argument, and that's why this is so close, because there's people on either side making arguments that Simone can just get strong enough, get enough power, and just overcome it. Ultimately, though, I think I'm going to lean with Kyle. Not for too many reasons, besides just, man, life equation is pretty crazy. If that doesn't work, then Simone probably does take it. I'm not going to be, like, up in arms either way as to whoever wins. Yeah, no, honestly, like, I don't really have too much to say for this one because there's just so much in both characters' courts that either cancel each other out, that it's basically just like in, say, like Magic the Gathering, where you've got like 15 cards on the stack of like, counterspell this and that and this and that, and it's just like constantly going up of like each character reacting to the other thing, and just fucking nothing resolves for like 10 minutes. So it's going to be complicated. I think this is going to be a weird one for them to explain in a way that the more casual versus audience is going to understand. Because when they start getting into like infinite multiverses that are infinite in size with infinite timelines and all this and that, and it's going to pretty quickly get out of hand. Animation wise, I'm just looking to see some really crazy shit. That's kind of just what it is. I know Kyle is a huge weeb, and has actively used shit like the EVA unit as his constructs. It would be very funny if they found some indication that he had seen Gurren Lagann and was like able to pull something from that. That would be pretty funny. But honestly, we're just gonna have to see what they come up with, because if there's one thing that this fight needs to be built on, because of both characters, it is creativity. So I am excited to see what creativity they bring to the table. The animation from what we saw in the preview looks pretty good. And yeah, we will see when it comes out. Thank you so much. Have a good one.